Hello, I'm Nathan Jones, Internet Evangelist with Lamb and Lion Ministries. We're here at the 2019 Contending for the Faith Bible Conference, and I'm here with Dennis Pollock. You all are familiar with Lamb and Lion Ministries. Dennis Pollock was well over a decade as the co-host of Christ in Prophecy. Dennis, it's so good to have you back. Now, many of you know that Dennis went on to start his own ministry called
Spirit of Grace Ministries.
Spirit of Grace. So, I guess when he left, I kind of took your place. So he's
you
my
did what I did,
forefather.
plus more than I did, because you're doing all the web stuff as well.
But then Dennis went on to do so much more. Dennis, I want to introduce you to Spirit of Grace Ministry because what he's doing at Spirit of Grace is amazing. Not only here in the States with his writing and reading and writing and recording, but also what's going on in Africa. So first, tell me a little about Africa and what the spiritual climate is, and then tell me about your ministry here.
Sure. Well, Africa has been seeing a real revival. I read somebody one time who talked about how the heart of Christianity geographically has shifted over the centuries. Yes. I mean, it started in Jerusalem, moved out into Israel, moved out into Asia Minor. It was in England for a while. Then it came to America. Right now, Americans are not getting saved wholesale.
No.
Africans are and have been for some time. And Africa, at the beginning of the 20th century, may have had like 1 or 2% Christian. Today, they're over 50% Christian. They still need a lot. There's a lot of need for teaching, and they're hard up in many cases for a lot of the physical things. But Christianity is thriving. And it's good fishing there. And, when I went to Africa, I had been an evangelist in America for over a decade. And the first trip I went there, I saw more people come to Christ in one short week or two than I had seen the previous 10 years in America.
That's amazing.
So it's good fishing, it's good ministry, there are a lot of challenges. But I see myself and have as a kind of a migrant worker. The migrant workers would go where the harvest is. If the watermelon harvest is happening over here, that's where you go. And so I've gone where the harvest is, and we've had some pretty good harvesting.
Awesome. So not only does he go to Africa and India to share the gospel, but what about your ministry here?
Yeah. Well, I'm a writer and a Bible reader and a Bible teacher, and so I love the Bible. I love all of the Bible. I've been reading it through every year since I got saved in 1973. As a writer, what's in your heart comes out onto your pen, or in my case, the typewriter, the keyboard. So anyway, I began producing all kinds of teachings and articles, and I started recording them as MP3 files and uploading them onto the internet. We've got over 400 Devo teachings as a written article, as a audio file. And then I got involved with YouTube, and we've got 2 YouTube channels. One has to do with diabetes. That's a whole other story. I won't go into that. But the other one has to do with Bible teaching, and basically what I did was I took those articles and I condensed them so that I'm talking about 5 or 6 minutes max. And I began uploading them, and people started subscribing to the channel. So it's been an outlet for my love for the Word. I just love Scripture. I love all of the Scripture, and I teach on everything from marriage to the end times to holiness to healing. You name it, I've taught on it.
One subject that Dennis really knows that Eric Barger brought up was he was talking about his New Age background. Right. He was talking about Edward Case, and I first learned about him through an article that you wrote. So Dennis has a background in dabbling in the occult, the New Age, back in the day, and so you're a discerner.
Yeah, well, it's funny because God used Casey to bring me to Christ. It's an interesting story, but I was a total agnostic, almost an atheist. Started reading Casey. He started saying there's a God, and he tried to use Scripture. Of course, he believed in reincarnation and the occult, which I didn't know anything about at the time. So I got into Casey. He kept trying to prove his point by the Scripture with a lot of twisted logic. I thought, well, you know what, I think I'll try reading the Bible, see what it has to say. And so I took a New Testament back with me to college when I was 19 years old, and before long, I fell in love with Jesus and forgot about Casey, and I began to realize Casey's all washed up, but this Jesus is the real deal. So in a way, Satan didn't accomplish what he wanted. He wanted me to hook into the occult forever, and it just lasted for a short while, long enough for me to get a hold of a Bible and start reading it and get born again. Yeah.
Well, folks, you want to check his ministry out. What's the URL?
spiritofgrace.org. Spiritofgrace.org.
He's a fantastic, if you're looking for a pastor and you're a church, you're looking for a fantastic preacher, this is the man.
And YouTube, just type in Dennis Pollock, you'll see our 2 channels, one about diabetes, one about Bible teaching. So type in Dennis Pollock, you should find me on YouTube.
All right. Thank you so much, Dennis.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let me grab your mic here. We got another guest here for you.
Right.
All right. Thank you, brother. And this is Scott Townsend. Scott, I want to introduce you to a ministry that's taken off only in the last 2 years or so. And it seems to be everywhere. It's on the radio, podcasting, their website at IamAWatchman.com. And Scott Townsend here is the founder of I Am a Watchman. So Scott, so glad you're here at the conference.
Thank you, Nathan. Yep.
Can you tell folks a little about why you decided to create I Am a Watchman and how they can get in touch with your ministry?
Sure, that's a long story, but basically I was called to be a watchman, and the Lord used Amir Sarfati at Behold Israel to plant the seeds of being a watchman, and that took root to the point where we formed a ministry together, and the Lord has just been doing incredible things with our team, writing. We do writings, blogs, we do video teachings, and of course we have social media presence on many different sites, including YouTube, SoundCloud for our podcast that we do. We also do a lot of information now. Our newest initiative, Nathan, is on the Rapture Kit.
Okay.
Because we believe the Rapture,
what you got there?
It's very, very close, yeah. So what we did is we realized that many people really don't have it figured out yet as to how to prepare their loved ones that are going to be left behind. And so this is a kit that we produce that has all of our information on it, 1,600 pages of content, 14 hours of video teaching.
Okay.
But the key point that we did, Nathan, in addition to basic first aid and survival guide a little bit, and we've got some other resources like a Bible and many different translations on it, is we have a 50-minute video that describes what happened, why it happened, how we knew it was going to happen, and then that there's still hope to have a relationship with Christ. And so we've been helping, people, parents, and, it's children with unsaved parents, it's parents with unsaved children, just come alongside and help create a resource like this for them.
Okay, well, IamAWatchman.com has not only a fantastic discernment ministry to help you become a watchman on the wall, but they have this wonderful Rapture Kit that if you have a loved one you know is going to be left behind, get them one of these kits, leave it with them. Scott, how can they get it again?
IamAWatchman.com, rapturekit.org, and I'd like to announce our newest initiative also, Am I Rapture Ready?
Am I Rapture Ready?
Yes, to help people understand, are they ready for the rapture? Are they saved? Do they need assurance of salvation? And to hear, of course, the ABCs of the gospel.
Well, thank you so much, Scott.
Thank you very much, Nathan.
I appreciate it. Check out their ministry. We'll have your mic. I got one more guy for you since this is our last interview here. How many of you are a non-prophet? In other words, there's prophecy out there, but you don't know too much about prophecy. And that's where we've got this gentleman here who wrote this amazing book. Come on, Todd. I've got here Todd Hansen, who, let's hold up your book here. People, see, now as soon as you book, you're going to know what it is, right? It's the Non-Prophet's Guide to the End Times. Yeah. Man, why did you write this book?
Just a lot of Christians I talk to affirm Bible prophecy and the return of the Lord, but they're really confused by the topic or scared of it. Okay. So I really wanted to come up with a book that you could give anyone, whether they're a non-believer or Christians who are just confused about it, and give them a quick overview primer of Bible prophecy, the return of the Lord, the signs of the times, and how we're supposed to live today.
Now, one thing about this book too, that not only is it just an excellent read, it's easy to read, but it seems, hold up a little more if you would. Yeah. It seems to be animated. Who animated it?
So my background is I'm an animation
so
animation
he drew
producer,
all that.
So I did the artwork as well. So he's a goofy character I came up with a couple years ago, and it just was a perfect merge with the content of the book. So.
I know if you've watched Christ in Prophecy, you've seen Todd on it. Todd, you have another book coming out, right?
I do. The Non-Prophet's Guide to the Book of Revelation comes out October 2nd. So it's right around the corner, kind of a follow-up to this book.
And then so you got a DVD that goes with it?
Yeah, and then we've got a 6-week small group DVD, because a lot of people who are getting the book were like, now I want to take this to my church or my small group, but I've never taught before. So it's me talking for about 10 minutes and then setting them up for the questions for their small group study. Real easy to use. Got a data DVD, a regular DVD, plug and play, tons of stuff on there. Yeah.
One thing that we hear a lot at Christ in Prophecy is that we're not reaching the younger generation. We're not bringing Bible prophecy to a level that they're interactive with, they're excited about. And that's something that Todd figured out. I mean, with
that's
his
my
talent,
passion,
and he did it so well. And so, folks, if you are looking to bring Bible prophecy to your children or grandchildren or youth group or something, get these books, get this Bible study. I highly recommend it because as soon as I read it, I mean, it's 101 Bible prophecy, but it just makes it exciting. You did it, man. So I think the Lord inspired you.
Appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
How can folks get in touch with you?
If you just go to toddhansen.com, you can get all the information about where to buy the books and also other information about my ministry.
Thank you so much, Todd.
Appreciate you guys.
Check out Todd's ministry. Okay, we're going to hear Dr. David Reagan next, so tune in.